So Uddhava was a very confidential devotee of the Lord. Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan. For two reasons, or maybe three. One reason was he sent Uddhava to Vrindavan, so the pain that the Vrajavasis were feeling of separation of Krishna, he could mitigate that slightly by them associating with him. Uddhava, his appearance, he was Krishna's cousin and he looked like Krishna, exactly like Krishna. So just before Uddhava left for Vrindavan, Krishna gave him his clothes so he would look like him even more. So just by seeing him, they become relieved of their pain of separation. And then the second reason was so Uddhava could learn the highest love of God in separation, which the Vrajavasis had. So then in this verse here, Vidura is asking Uddhava, he's saying, could you speak something? Can you say something about Krishna? And then as soon as Uddhava hears Vidura asking about Krishna, it says in this verse that he goes into deep meditation. He goes in. And that's what it says in the translation. It says, for a moment he remained dead silent and his body didn't move. But it's funny because in the purple, Prabhupada says that Uddhava appeared to be awakened from slumber. So it's either one or the other. Yeah. So Krishna answers that question in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. He says, what is night for all beings is time of awakening for self-control. And the time of awakening for self-control, the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective stage. So we can see that in this material world, people are so eager, very eager to, as soon as you've got an opportunity to enjoy the material world, they take it just like that. Just like that. No problem. They're very happy. They become awake. But as soon as they give the opportunity, as soon as you give the opportunity to engage in something spiritual, they're like, oh, can't be bothered. They fall asleep. Right? But for the devotees, it's the opposite. When the devotees see the materialists enjoying, they think, oh, it's not very good. Just like we have our Thursday Harinams in London. Every Thursdays, we go out in central London, go on the tube, go in central London, and we just do Harinam along Oxford Street, Carnaby Street, different places. And last Thursday it was raining, it was miserable, the weather was horrible, it was typical English weather this time of year. And you can see the people, when they see the devotees out in the street with their devotees chanting and dancing, you can see they're thinking, oh, what are they do? How can they do that? I couldn't do that. And sometimes you see when we go to devotees, we go to music festivals, devotees go and do Sankirtan there, music festivals. And people, we do the car park and you give them a walk. And they're coming, and sometimes it's raining, it's pouring with rain, and you can see they're coming in, and they've got to park the car, they've got to get all their stuff out in the rain, right? And not only that, they've got to pack it all, make sure you get the alcohol, it's the most important thing, right? You've got to pack everything, you've got to walk to security, you've got to queue up, probably sometimes they have to queue up for like 1 hour, 2 hours before they can get to the entrance, because there's a huge queue. And this is all in the rain. It's all in the rain. And then finally they get through security, and then they have to walk another quarter of a mile or whatever it is to the campsite. And then once they get to the campsite, they've got to put up their tent. And this is all in the rain. And they're actually paying a lot of money to do this. It's not like it's free. They're paying, some people pay like £350, And I remember looking at that and I'm thinking, oh, that's terrible, And they're thinking, oh, we're going to enjoy, we're going to have a great time, we're going to get drunk and party and rave in on stage, whatever, they have this big rave tent. And the devotees are thinking, ooh, I'd rather just be in a temple chanting my rounds or reading or something. So that's the difference. What is night for all living beings is awakening for the devotees. And what is awakening for the devotees is night for all beings. Yeah. So here, Uddhava, in the purport, it says he appears to be, he appears to awaken. But a devotee's awakening is different. A devotee's awakening is going deep, going in, right? Whereas a materialist and non-devotees awakening is going external, doing external things. So here, Uddhava's going, it says here, he was going deep, and he was going even deeper in meditation. Because for a devotee, so for devotees, that's the real deal. Not being external, but being internal, deep. And that's where we get our real nectar from. Because you can only be external for so long. Sometimes devotional service is it may appear to be very external, right? Because you're externally doing so many things. You're only all getting away from the incense that you're in the garden, you're raking the weeds, whatever. I'm not gardeners, I don't know. You rake weeds or you put them out. Whatever you're doing, you're taking care of the cows, even you may back on her on. But if your mind's not there, if you're not focusing your mind, smarana, if you're not thinking about Krishna, then it may just remain external. And you're not really going to feel the nectar, you're not really going to nourish. So that's the thing here, we need to start going internal, as well as external. Because externally we're engaging in devotional service, we're doing so many things, which is important. But where's our mind when we're doing them? That's the thing. Am I really focusing my mind on this thing? Am I really focusing my mind? That's the thing. So here it says, Uddhava seems to have forgotten Krishna, but Uddhava never forgets. Even for a moment, he never forgets Krishna. So here, to an untrained person, it may appear like that, he's forgotten. But he hasn't, because he's gone deep. He stopped all his external activity. So when he wakes up, well, when he's going deep, what does it say in the purple? It says that he's, what's he thinking of? He's thinking of all the service that he had done to Krishna previously. That's what he was thinking of. So for a devotee, service, or the service mood, well, it's the most important thing in our life. It's not so much, even for pure devotees, feeling ecstatic symptoms, because this is about ecstasy. Prabhupada says there's 8 types of ecstasy here. But for a pure devotee, that's not so important. Once Prabhupada was in the Vyasa in Mayapur, you might have heard this story, and it was in front of loads of devotees, 150 devotees in the audience. And all of a sudden, Prabhupada closed his eyes. And he remained like that for quite some time. His eyes were closed. And devotees didn't know what to do. So there was one devotee sitting, a sannyasi sitting near the Vyasa. So he just started to chant. Just started chanting. And so they all started chanting. And finally, Prabhupada, he woke up from this trance, samadhi he was in. He woke up. Then Prabhupada started to join in the kirtan. And then at the end, the devotees were speaking, and were kind of arguing, what's your, was it right to chant, or should we just remain quiet? and then they couldn't come to a conclusion. So they decided to ask Prabhupada. So Premanarnava asked Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, you know when you give a class and you close your eyes and you feel these ecstatic emotions, if you do that again, what should we do? Prabhupada said, yeah. He said, I don't do it quite often, do I? In a very humble mood, he said, I don't do it quite often, do I? And I said, like he was almost embarrassed about it, And Prabhupada said, yeah, just keep chanting, that's good. And then he said, but it's not a big deal. Why are you making a big deal out of it? It's not a big deal. Because for a devotee, service is the most important. Because Prabhupada could have stayed in Vrindavan, right? He was happy there in Radha temple, right beside Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. He could have just stayed there and remained and been very happy. And he could have been in ecstasy. But he didn't. He left. He left the country, got on the Jaladhri town, he ordered of his spiritual master, and he endured 2 heart attacks. And for so much difficulty, does that mean Prabhupada wasn't in ecstasy? That was his ecstasy. That was Prabhupada's ecstasy. Preaching, doing that, service. Because for a devotee, that's the most important thing. Service. Prabhupada said, he said, my books, he said, these are my emotional ecstasies. And what does Prabhupada speak about in his books? Is he just speaking about Radha and Krishna? No. He's smashing the scientists, he's smashing the politicians, he's smashing the materialists. And he's saying these are my emotional ecstasies. He's just smashing everyone. Why are they his emotional ecstasies? Because he's following the instruction of his spiritual master. And the goal is to get all the living entities to develop love of God, Krishna, love of Krishna. Therefore, to Prabhupada, that's ecstatic, that's ecstasy. Just like Krishna's servant, Dauka, Krishna's personal servant, he was standing Krishna once, and he started feeling all these ecstatic emotions, but then he was thinking, oh no, this is getting in the way of my service. So he was checking his emotions, just thinking, I don't want these ecstasies. I just want to, because it's going to hinder my service to Krishna. Like that. Of course, when you start speaking about ecstatic symptoms of Buddha, that's very high subject matter. So how do we get there, So Krishna sent Buddha to Vrindavan, and he had some letters to read to the gopis, to the gopas, Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Yashoda, and just Krishna was explaining to them why he's not coming back, why he's gone. So Buddha met the gopis. You see, the gopis, they wanted Krishna to reciprocate with him in a certain way. And that was that they wanted Krishna present in front of them. In the purport, Prabhupada says, thinking about Krishna, so what does he say here? He says, to feel, thinking about Krishna, speaking about Krishna on the pure absolute platform is the same as having Krishna in front of you, right? So Krishna said in the letters reading to the gopis, he says, I'm already there in Vrindavan because you're constantly thinking of me. So they didn't believe him. How can you be here? You're not here. But then Krishna started speaking about all the things the gopis were saying individually to each other. And then I go, I hadn't seen them. I don't want Krishna know that. Okay, so then they realized that Krishna is here. Krishna is here. because they're so absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and they're engaging in their service. God opened up the main service, it's just sanctifying, it's just glorifying Krishna all the time. But they're also doing their different things. Krishna was present in their person. Even though they wanted Krishna to reciprocate with them a certain way, he didn't. And some of us, same with us, right? We have also, we want Krishna to reciprocate with us a certain way, right? We're thinking, oh Krishna, if you do this to me, that means you're reciprocating. And if you don't do it, you're not reciprocating. But then Krishna doesn't do it, and we think, oh, he's not reciprocating. But an advanced devotee would think, that's okay. That's all right. And he goes, the advanced devotee goes, that Krishna not reciprocating with that particular wish of the devotee goes deeper. And then Krishna reciprocates on a deeper level. Not so much on an external way, not the way we want him to reciprocate. So the question we should really be asking, am I reciprocating with Krishna? Right? And in Kali Yuga, what is the most direct way of reciprocating with Krishna? Chanting Hare Krishna. So the most important part of the devotee's day is the first 2 hours in the morning when you're chanting. You have 16 hours minimum. And am I really focusing on Krishna's holy name? Well, or is my mind going all over the universe? And these days you can go over the universe in a few minutes with multimedia and the rest of it. So am I focusing on Krishna? So it's face ID, keep switching on the technology. So am I reciprocating with Krishna? And then if we make an effort to reciprocate with Krishna, we see, but actually Krishna is always reciprocating with us. He's always. But the problem is we don't see it because we have so many other things. We're focusing our mind on. But actually he's always reciprocating. Am I reciprocating with him? That's the thing. Like this. So for the devotee, it's that, and also we can reciprocate Krishna with our service, of course. Chanting Hare Krishna is one way to need service. And why are you doing this service? You're focusing your mind, smiling. You see, the sadhus, they just want to imitate being an advanced devotee. But there's one thing they lack, they don't have the service mood. They have no desire to want to serve. They just want to enjoy it. Right? The service means, the real mood for service means not my enjoyment, it's the enjoyment of the person I'm serving, whether it's your guru or whether it's Krishna. And when we do that, because Krishna is absolute, Krishna is only absolute platform, when we do that, then naturally we're going to be happy as well. Right? Just like Prabhu said, he was saying, we were talking about Harinam, when we're going out Harinam, we have to be very careful how we present Krishna to people, because we're not out there to enjoy. And we're not out there to attract the crowds of people. Sometimes we think, we should chant and dance and make the crowds happy. But Prabhu said, no, that's not our aim. Isn't to make the crowds happy. It's to make Krishna happy. And when Krishna's happy, it's like pouring water on the root of the tree. Naturally, everyone's going to be happy. The crowd will naturally be happy. So we try to please the crowd separately. Sometimes in London, you get all these drunk people with half-naked women that come in the kirtan, And we just try and jump up and down, try and make them feel good, and then we may just forget, hang on, I'm here to make Krishna feel good, not these people. So we've got to focus. And then in this way we'll always be in Krishna's spiritual energy. Whereas Maya is very tricky. Yeah. What time do you usually finish?
Usually about 8:30. We can just...
So as we progress in our spiritual lives, we can see as we advance, we've been around 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, some 40 years. Yeah, we can. So as you get older, I'm speaking for myself, everything's behind you. At the beginning, when you're young, everything's in front of you. And you have all these plans in mind, and do this, this, and this, and this, get married, which is good. Yeah. Then at a certain time in life, you realize it starts to move, you're done, and it's all behind you. And what's in front? It's Krishna. Krishna's in front of you. So then let me just focus on Krishna and not get diverted and so many other things. Like that. Any questions? Yeah.
I was wondering, how do you know that Krishna is happy?
How do you know that Krishna is happy? Easy. Krishna consciousness is a very scientific process. You know Krishna is happy because you feel. How do you feel? Huh? Yeah, then you know Krishna is happy. But also, this is one of the reasons why we have Guru, Sadhu, the Guru, association with the Gurus. The Guru's happy, then you know Krishna's happy. We sing it every morning, right? Yasya Prasadam, Bhagavatam Prasadam, Yasya Prasadam, Bhagavati Katopi. Right? If we please the spiritual master, then we know we're going to please Krishna. So, if the spiritual master is not pleased, then you know Krishna's not pleased. So yeah, you know you're happy by whether your guru's happy or not with you, and how you feel inside. You can't change that.
I just want to ask, you stay in the Harinam, we're not there to please the crowds.
Yeah.
But it's very easy for this, or even we're leading a kirtan in the temple, it's very easy for this mindset to come in of how can you start thinking, are people enjoying this? And you sort of want to impress people, and so how to get away from that and just make the kirtan just about service and pleasing Krishna?
Yeah. So, it's all about bringing the mind back under control, isn't it? Because the mind's always going to wander somewhere, unless you come to the point of Shakti, what is Nishta, steadiness. It becomes a little bit more steady in Nishta. But in Shakti is basically the mind is really under control. But before then, it's just a matter of bringing the mind back. And knowing what we're doing, what am I doing wrong, and what should I be doing right. Which means it's very important to be constantly reading Prabhupada's books and hearing about Krishna. So in this way the mind becomes stronger. Also the intelligence becomes stronger. You can control the mind with your intelligence. So the leading kirtan, mind starts thinking, this is good, I'm enjoying. And you know the whole thing about, no, this is for Krishna. So you bring the mind back. This is for Krishna. Krishna's pleasure. That's what it is. Because the mind's always going to wander at this stage in our spiritual life. I don't know, some of these may be very advanced, I don't know. I can't say. But, so which means, keeping intelligence strong by reading Prabhupada's books and chanting nicely. So just not keeping everything external, really focusing. That is to answer your question.
And this shift from external to internal, is it something that naturally occurs as we progress in devotional service? It becomes more apparent the shift needs to take place, or we actually have to reach a certain point where we realize we're not being fulfilled in devotional service and then have to make this sort of shift?
Yeah, I mean, it would be good if everything was just automatic, wouldn't it? One day you wake up and you're gone through your anatomy ritual. And it's like, how did that happen? Or you go through a bush and when you come at the other end, you're at Nista or something like that. But no, devotional service is a very scientific process. We have to make a conscious effort. It's all about making a conscious effort. That's why you have Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means following the rules and regulations strictly. And then you have Vaidhi Bhakti sadhana, following the law principles, chanting Hare Krishna. That's just the minimum. You really need to develop a real deep taste. So that's what you're talking about. How do you go from just the external rules and regulations to going deeper? So it's all about of course, there are two things: there's effort and then there's mercy. Krishna's mercy. These two things go hand in hand. Just mercy alone is rare. It's possible. You can get a mercy. It's happened. There's stories in the Bhagavatam where someone just gets the mercy. Mercy of a pure devotee, mercy of Krishna. But generally, we have to make an effort in order to be qualified to get mercy. When Krishna sees you, you're really going in means, let me pray to Krishna. Okay, my mind's wandering when I'm chanting, and when's it going to get easier, So let me just pray to Krishna. Let me just really pray to Krishna. Pray to the holy name. When Krishna sees you making an effort, he gives. But we have to see it first. That's why it's important we don't just get stuck on this external platform. And on autopilot, everything's just automatically happening. That's more possible when you're in a big temple like the Mana, because there's so many devotees. So there's like 300 devotees for the one program, and you can just be at the back somewhere in the corner and just watching everything happen. Just automatically happens. But when you're in a smaller temple, you have to get involved. You don't have a choice. That's why in one sense it's nicer to be in a smaller place, because you really have to get involved, and everyone can see. They can see more where you're at as well, because you have that close connection, relationship. So going deep means you continue with your Vaidhi principles, but then you really understand where you are, try to understand where you are, and pray to Krishna for the mercy. How do you get the mercy? Pleasing the spiritual master, pleasing the devotees. Then, of course, it gets a little bit more complicated. There's Vaidhi sadhana, there's Bhakti sadhana. We're going to speak about that now. So going deep and, getting the only bit more spontaneous affection and affection for Krishna. Slowly, slowly, slowly. We don't have to, we're not doing it just because I have to do it, or if I don't do it, then I'm breaking my vow to my guru. But now we're doing it because we really enjoy doing it. We really relish it. Does that answer the question? I don't know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, have to transition from rules and regulations to going deeper. Really have to pray to Krishna and focus your mind. Yeah. Sankaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam, Jai.
Jai. His Grace Premanarnava Prabhu ki.
Okay, is it like,